It sits in the window of the world's most exclusive boutiques, radiating luxury and commanding a price tag of thousands of dollars.
The texture is soft, the grain is exotic, and the demand is insatiable.
But behind the glamour of Fashion Week lies a raw, industrial reality that few consumers ever see.
This is not a clean, sterile assembly line.
It is a global supply chain that begins far away from the city lights, often in deep, secluded facilities. The source of this material is the macaque, a primate prized in the exotic trade for its specific skin qualities.
From a living creature to a stack of raw hides, the transformation is brutal, chemical, and highly efficient.
Today, we are peeling back the curtain on the exotic leather industry.
We will trace the journey from the raw skin to the million-dollar product. Welcome to the dark reality of the macaque leather industry.
Our journey begins in Southeast Asia, where the climate is hot and humid, ideal for breeding these animals.
While some skins are sourced from the wild, the industrial scale relies on intensive breeding farms. Here, thousands of macaques are raised specifically for harvest, similar to how mink or foxes are farmed for fur.
Efficiency is the priority. Every animal is a unit of production, tracked and monitored.
Any scratch or bite mark from fighting can ruin the value of the leather, so containment is strict.
Once the chickens reach maturity, usually within a few years, they are moved to the processing stage.
The culling process is swift, designed to preserve the integrity of the pelt above all else. Immediately after harvest, the clock starts ticking. The skin is organic and will rot if not treated instantly. Preservation begins with salting. A thick layer of industrial salt draws out moisture.
This dehydration process arrests bacterial growth, putting the skin in a state of suspended animation.
They are left to cure for several weeks, hardening into stiff, flat sheets known as raw hides.
Quality control starts here. If the salt doesn't reach a fold or crease, rot sets in, and the hide is useless.
These salted hides are durable enough to be shipped internationally to tanneries, often in different countries.
The raw material travels thousands of miles, often untraced, to industrial zones with looser environmental regulations.
It arrives here, the tannery. This is where the true chemical transformation takes place. The environment here is harsh. The air is thick with the smell of sulfur and ammonia. The hides are hard and crusty from the salt. They look nothing like luxury leather yet. To bring them back to life, they must be rehydrated in the beam house operation. The first step is soaking. Water and surfactants wash away the salt and dirt. The skins soak for up to 24 hours, swelling back to their natural thickness.
Next comes liming. Strong alkali chemicals are added to burn off the hair and dissolve proteins.
This is a destructive process. The chemicals break down the hair follicles so the fur slides right off.
When they emerge, the skins are swollen, rubbery, and completely bald.
But the underside still has fat and flesh attached. This must be mechanically removed.
The fleshing machine scrapes the underside clean with razor-sharp blades.
If any flesh remains, it will rot from the inside out, ruining the final product.
The waste from this process is immense, contributing to the heavy pollution load of the tanning industry.
Now, the skins are too alkaline from the lime. They must be neutralized with acid.
This delicate chemical balancing act is called delimbing. One mistake here destroys the fibers.
Enzymes are added to bait the leather, making it soft and flexible rather than stiff like cardboard.
The skin is now collagen, ready to be permanently altered.
This is the most critical point. Until now, the skin is still biodegradable. It can still rot.
To stop decomposition forever, we need tanning agents. The most common is chromium.
Chrome tanning is fast and cheap. It turns the organic protein into a stable material that will never decay.
The skins tumble in this toxic chemical bath for several hours.
Heat helps the chromium bond to the collagen fibers on a molecular level.
When the door opens, the transformation is complete.
The skins are now wet blue. They are no longer animal skin. They are leather.
This blue state is the industry standard for intermediate storage.
They are stable, fungus-resistant, and can be stored for months before finishing.
First, excess water is squeezed out by high-pressure rollers. This reduces the weight and prepares the fiber for splitting. Macaque skin can be thick. The splitting machine slices it into precise layers.
The top grain is the premium layer. The bottom layer becomes suede or cheap split leather.
Even at this blue stage, inspectors look for the unique pore structure that defines macaque leather.
Skins with too many bug bites or scratches are downgraded. Only the pristine ones move to the luxury line.
The scale of production is massive, feeding a hungry global market.
But nobody buys a blue handbag. The next stage is where the artistry begins.
We move to the dye house. Here, the wet blue will be given its final character.
First, they are washed and neutralized to remove the acidity of the chrome.
Recipes are precise. A fraction of a gram difference can change the color shade.
Hot water and dye penetrate the leather. It's not just surface paint. The color goes all the way through.
Oils are added in a process called fat liquoring. This lubricates the fibers so the leather won't crack when dry.
Consistency is key. The color must match the designer's request exactly.
Once the color is set, the skins are unloaded and piled up. Drying is a critical step. The skins are pasted onto glass or metal plates to dry flat.
Hot air circulates, evaporating the moisture while keeping the skin stretched tight.
When they peel off, they are dry but stiff. They need to be softened again.
The staking machine mechanically beats the leather, separating the fibers to make it supple.
Now it feels like the luxury material we recognize.
Surface finishing adds a protective coat. This shields the leather from water and stains. Acrylics, waxes, or nitrocellulose lacquers are applied in thin layers. Sometimes the natural grain isn't enough. An embossing press stamps a uniform pattern onto the skin.
This hides natural imperfections like bug bites or scars, increasing the usable yield.
For a nubuck finish, the top layer is lightly sanded to create a velvet-like texture. Leather is sold by the square foot. Electronic scanners measure the exact area of each irregular shape.
The size is stamped on the back, and the skin is rolled up, ready for the factory. These rolls are now worth hundreds of dollars each, waiting to be turned into products.
Here, skilled artisans take over from the chemical engineers.
Designers have already calculated exactly how to cut the pattern to minimize waste.
The cutter's job is high pressure. One wrong cut on this expensive material is a costly mistake. They circle every tiny flaw. The pattern pieces must be placed around these imperfections.
Modern factories use laser cutters for precision, while traditional workshops still use hand knives.
Hand cutting requires years of experience to feel the stretch direction of the skin.
The pieces are gathered into kits, ready for assembly.
Edges are skivved or thinned down so they can be folded over without creating bulk. Adhesive is applied, and the edges are folded manually with a bone tool.
This attention to detail is what defines luxury leather goods.
Stitching is done on heavy-duty industrial machines. The needle must punch through layers of dense skin.
The thread is often bonded nylon, stronger than the leather itself. Every seam is hammered flat to ensure the bag maintains its structured shape.
Hardware is added. Zippers, clasps, and buckles are often the most expensive components after the skin.
Edge painting is a tedious process. It takes multiple coats with sanding in between to get a smooth, rubbery seal.
Slowly, the flat pieces transform into a three-dimensional object of desire.
A final polish brings out the natural shine of the macaque grain.
The manufacturing process is complete.
But before it leaves the factory, it faces the white glove inspection.
A loose thread or a tiny scratch means the bag is rejected.
Paper stuffing is added to maintain the shape during shipping. It is wrapped in a dust bag to protect the surface from friction.
The packaging itself is designed to feel expensive.
These boxes are loaded onto planes, destined for fashion capitals: Paris, New York, Tokyo.
The customer sees only the beauty, unaware of the farms, the salt, the lime, and the chrome.
The price reflects the brand, the labor, and the rarity of the raw material.
It is an industry that produces significant waste.
Modern tanneries spend millions on water treatment to clean the toxic effluent.
But in unregulated regions, the environmental cost can be devastating.
Chrome-tanned leather is not biodegradable. It will last for centuries, just like plastic.
Despite the controversies, the market for exotic leather remains strong.
Its durability and unique grain make it a status symbol.
While synthetic alternatives exist, purists argue nothing matches the feel of real ski.
This industry supports thousands of jobs, from farmers to chemists to artisans.
For many,
It is a livelihood and a craft passed down through generations.
Handbags aren't the only product. Macaque leather is famous for making high-end gloves.
The skin is thin but incredibly strong, allowing for high dexterity.
Wallets, belts, and watch straps also utilize the smaller offcuts, minimizing waste. Scraps are often pulped and bonded to make reconstituted leather for cheaper goods.
Nothing is thrown away if it can be sold.
Fashion trends dictate the process. Neon colors require bleaching the skin white before dyeing.
This intensive processing weakens the fiber, but it's what the market demands. Automation is slowly entering the industry, but the irregularity of animal skin limits its use.
The supply chain relies on massive inputs of salt, water, and energy. It is an energy-intensive industry, consuming huge amounts of heat for drying and water heating.
Some modern facilities are trying to go green, using solar power and recycling water.
It takes months instead of days and produces a stiff, natural leather.
But for soft fashion products like macaque gloves, chrome tanning remains the king.
The global trade is regulated by CITES to prevent wild poaching.
Smuggling still exists, but the legal channel is massive and highly documented.
Sustainable farming practices are becoming a selling point for the ultra-luxury sector.
As long as there is demand for this specific aesthetic, the factory wheels will keep turning.
Day and night, the drums spin, processing thousands of skins.
It is a gritty, chemical, and loud reality.
So the next time you see a luxury leather item, remember what you've seen today.
It is a product of biology, chemistry, and craftsmanship. A material that was once alive, preserved forever by industrial science.
Whether you view it as a masterpiece of craft or a controversial commodity is up to you.
If you found this look behind the curtain interesting, make sure to subscribe